you're in the dark, and all you can see is like the shine of a moon, you know, on the wall, and you can just tell, you know, where you put color by the wetness of the paint on the wall. And then you go back in the morning and you just shock yourself. Sometimes you think, you know, it's not as good as you wanted to be, but sometimes you think, wow. If you're a citizen and you've never met a graffiti writer and never have talked about it or learnt about it or anything like that, and you just have a general public view where you don't know at all what it's about, you can create an art form that can't be traced back, and you can do it in exactly the way you want, in the style you want, and the colours you want. Even people like parents of writers or friends of writers, anyone who knows what it's about, they all have, it's funny how everyone who knows what it's about has respect for it. Because you've done something that no one could even conceive as doing. You know, most people just go to sleep at night, yet you've gone out and spent 6 hours and used, you know, 30 or 40 cans. You're always going to have a certain amount of people who are going to say, nah, that's messy, it's bad, it's, you know, it's shit, it's just lines and trash. It's just an adventure. It's a sort of pure art adventure.
People don't understand the importance of tags. I mean, pieces started off from fattened up tags. That's how it started. The whole thing was the tag, just the, you know, like that you see on the wall there. And then some guy decided, well, I'm going to do a really fat tag and outline it in a colour. And then he started to put little dots inside it as well, and then a backdrop, and before you knew it, you started to get pieces evolving out of tags.
Yeah, because there were so many tags and no one could differentiate between one tag and another, so people had to make them stand out. So that's how you get, like you were saying, you know, the boys and your dots and whatever, and people just, you know.
So, you know, I know the public like pieces. The average citizen will say, oh, I like the big stuff, but I don't like the scribble everywhere. But it'll always be. It's part of graffiti. No one started off graffiti by going out, okay, I'll start doing a piece and start doing pieces everywhere.
No.
Tags are easier. Everybody starts off doing tags,
yeah.
And you get more control out of the can. You know, you learn how to use a can just by tagging.
Another thing is that a lot of the kids that are doing it are only doing it for the illegal purpose, where they're not getting down with, like, the construction of style. And they're just sort of, you know, it's just purely to beat the law.
There's a lot of people, like a lot of the younger people coming up, they don't really tag, they just bomb, in the sense of, like, a tag is a stylized signature. You know, it's well thought out, it's well planned. It's not just some quick splattered letters on the side of a bus, or they're not really tags, they're sort of more along the lines of just vandalism.
I think the whole motive behind the tagging, and a lot of the tagging now, is that just because of the illegal, you know, look, the illegal sort of structure behind it. Tagging it up. That's all they were out for.
Tags will always be around. Tags
is an art form. Graffiti is an art form.
Tags will always be around.
There's something about graffiti. I think it's disgusting actually.
The wrong time at the wrong place.
They're bored.
Graffiti is vandalism.
It becomes addictive.
Graffiti's just addictive. It's naughty, you know, it's just not on.
It's kind of like a dog pissing on its stovey pole.
Tags will always be around.
Graffiti is vandalism.
I think it's a phase.
Follow the leader. It's just not on.
Pissing on its stovey pole.
I just grew out of it. Will always be around.
I like it, but I mean, I don't like it.
Well, my piece says my name, which is Jewel. To most people, they wouldn't be able to understand it, but this is sort of just the years of drawing. You know, it's not just a bunch of lines, it's my breakdown of, you know, my style now. If you've got an aware eye, you understand, you'll see the letters in it. I used to go out and paint a lot of things when I was young with paintbrushes and rollers. You know, really, just as a rebellious thing. Put my name up as big as ever. And I can remember another sort of time where I was painting a fence at my dad's car yard, silver, and there was a big wall. And this is before I ever, you know, knew what it was. And I turned around and ripped my name really hugely on the wall in roller paint, which I ended up getting a lot of trouble for. Basically, the D is from here back. The rough shape. That's the back shape. It comes up from around here. It goes through, down, through to there, and out. I went through like a few years where I was only mainly painting trains and the occasional wall, and I was just trying to build up on like my basic idea of what it was all about, which was lettering style. The U comes from behind the D, comes up, comes down, through, then you have your backstroke. This has got a punchline in it. The punchline is when you see all these lines, and then all of a sudden you understand that it's a name, but you can't see the name, and you sit there longer, and you start seeing one letter, and you see another letter, and all of a sudden you'll see it for what it is. The E, which is here, comes across, through, sort of in, back out, then you have the huge stroke that comes down and up into the bottom point. It's funny how it's, you know, gone down really, that I remember the days when we were always painting trains when I lived at McLeod, and my mum would like literally throw people out and tell them to get out. You know, they couldn't stay because she knew what was going on. And so she fought it a lot at first. My dad never really had a view. You know, he was lost until now, where he thinks, wow, you're so good, you know. But my mum sort of had to put up with a lot of stuff, such as the police did. And I've got my mum on my side now. Then you have the L, which comes down here and sort of down like that. To me, it's a hobby. It's just something I've grown up doing and living and loving. I just want to keep going and going to take it beyond sort of any conception of what people could believe to be letters. Unless you're really in there, in between the lines, and you're not understanding it. You know, you have to get in between the lines. Do a train, and just to know that the train's going to move, and like at every station someone's going to be getting in, you know, someone's going to be stepping through your piece, or, you know, and just you take everyone, you know, you take everyone out of their everyday sort of thing, where, you know, they just go to work. Instead of just going to work this day, they just happen to like stand back, and there's just colour everywhere, and, you know, it opens their eyes up.
We're there to put a piece of art, you know, like against all the elements, all the, like the cops after us and stuff. It's just a show of dedication, of how dedicated you are to the art, you know. That's all it is. Like the train is the ultimate dedication to the art.
Sort of two different things, you know. You get sort of a good feeling by looking at a good burner, but you see a train rock into a station with a nice panel on the side of it, and it's more exciting actually.
your name could just be transported everywhere. So, you know, so many more people will get to see it. When you do it on a train and the train runs, it's in their face. No one can help it. No one can get away from it. It's something you just can't get out of, you know? It's just the ultimate.
Once you've done it, like once you've done a train, you'll always want to go back and do another one. Doesn't matter. It's the best, man. Like graffiti's a rush. It's a full-on like adrenaline and everything. Like after you do a piece, you step back and you just can't believe like how your piece looks. And you're so happy you'll go home and you're so happy with the stuff you've done. Like when you got a train and it pulls up on like Central Station at peak hour with 1,000 people looking at it. It's unbelievable, mate. It's the best thing. And then you ride it all day around the system. It's canvas on wheels. Nah, it's a wall on wheels. It just travels everywhere.
The feeling of seeing the train actually moving past you was a feeling you could never explain to anyone else.
Like it only might run once before it's buffed, you know, it seems like a waste of time. You can spend all night in a train yard and then it'll be buffed in no time. It's still the #1 aim.
Just the painting at night becomes the foundations for, you know, what you're there for, which is to get the photos, to see it, to have that feeling of seeing it, the adrenaline and just the power of knowing, you know, you were there alone, you know, and once you see it, you have you have flashbacks. You remember being there in the dark and painting and looking around, because it's you against sort of the authority. It's you against everyone. You know, when you're in the yard and you're painting the train, you're going against everyone's views. You're going against the government's, you know, their ideas. You're going against the police. You're going against everyone. It's like it's like rebelling fully against every system, every authority, just to get your work out. Where, you know, going to the yard and being alone and painting alone is such a sort of spiritual thing.
Train, change your aim. Train. Toughen the law.
I'm going to do what I want to do.
I think they're showing off.
They got to toughen the law. City service.
Weekend job. It shouldn't be done.
They get really offended, and I don't blame them.
Train.
It's still the #1 aim.
Train.
I'm going to do what I want to do, graph.
Adrenaline just rushed through you so quickly.
It is a buzz.
Now, we're going to get a little bit tough on it.
It's still the #1 aim.
Law.
What would you rather see?
Let them paint a building.
Yeah, I did that. It's me.
Playing out vandalism.
Express themselves.
The ultimate thing for a writer would be to get into a time machine, to hang around on some train station in New York.
What it started off as was youth expression, because like in New York, with its massive population and things like that, back in the 70s, there was sort of really no outlet. As soon as they worked out that there was a way to express themselves, there was a style of art that wasn't known, like at that time, but a few guys like just worked on a basic concept of what they thought was, you know, something different in being lettering and, you know, and writing your name everywhere and just a whole different art wave. It's sort of how it began. The stick letters start off and then someone turned it into a bubble letter and someone turned it into a blockbuster letter. And then it started getting more and more complex, that the more they did it, it wasn't just their name anymore. It wasn't, you know, that they'd formed an art form. The Transport Authority was just lost because it was something that they'd never seen before. And these kids had just taken over so quickly.
We never really had a hold in it. New York is the only place that overtook the transit system. We only tried to, you understand what I'm saying? Everyone tried to in the world, but no one could do it. The New York guys were the only ones that could do it.
You know, we respect New York like so much because they were there when there hadn't been anything to build their style on. They had no concept of where they were going. They were just like on a one-way street and they were just sort of exploring and creating all these styles. So like, yeah, New York to us is still #1.
They overtook the transit. They beat the transit. They had them under their thumb one stage and they won again. You know what I mean? And we never had them. At one stage we had a lot of pieces going, but we weren't winning.
There was a stage in 1988, there were a lot of panels running, you know,
that was the best.
And 87 too.
Yeah, that was the best time that Sydney ever had. Like at one time there might be about 10, 15 panels around.
There was one week where 52 panels ran. And we were all says and all that. And it was just like so much running. But you'll never get that now. You know, you'll never get 52 panels running in 1 week.
It's calmed down though, man. When you go to New York, if you're a rider, like you almost cry when you see the trains. They're just so clean. They're so clean. You know, there wasn't even a tag I saw when I was over there. You know, I was riding a lot of lines. You know.
5 years ago till now, well, the trains have sort of practically stopped. You know, due to enough of the big ones getting caught or doing enough. Like since the government changed the laws and changed the yards, and you know, too many people weren't strong enough to stay with it, you know, and say, you know, let's keep fighting on for a war which you don't know where it's going, but you know, you just keep fighting on. So, as far as it goes, there's the whole culture in hip-hop. Only, say, 20 to 30% of people into hip-hop are into writing and graffiti and stuff like that. And out of everyone in hip-hop now, there's only maybe 2% of people that are into breakdancing, which was the original founding element of hip-hop, which, that's what saddens me. The fact that, you know, there's rap, it's in the music, has gone so big and has so much money. I can't see how, you know, you can say rap music is more artistically beautiful than graffiti. They're in the same culture. It's in there one with hip-hop. Yet rap has just gone on to make millions of dollars and people have made millions. Breakdancing has died out because no one would take it further. Rap was never superior to graffiti, which was never superior to breakdancing. If you're into the culture, you're into all of, you know, all the things. So I think this will outlast a lot. Only because it hasn't been brought up by money. The ones that are into it and have beliefs are sticking with them and they're not stopping. Where, you know, even the best people at breakdancing stopped because to them, they couldn't see the future in it. They couldn't see how you could advance the style of the dance, which, you know, just like anything else, can always be bettered. It's sort of put in parallel, the riders in Australia, some of their styles are more advanced than New York's, like the innovators. Like they have taken it to a different level. While the rappers in Australia are still trying to catch up to the black rappers, and the black rappers have still got 10 years on hip-hop groups and, you know, stuff here, musically, you know, lyrically, every way. But the graffiti is like a totally different thing, you know. We've surpassed a lot. I wouldn't say we're better than. I'm saying in content of style, we have surpassed a lot of, you know, the sort of making of a lettering form. And it's the same with Germany. A lot of the Germans, you know, they're not into sort of the the advancement of style, because they're still chasing New York's feet, doing their bubble letters on, you know, doing all plain style pieces and believing that is the way. Well, that was just the start, you know, so I think it'll keep going. As long as the people that are starting to get recognised don't stop. Because, I mean, if the people that have been painting for all these years now don't get recognised, then the art form will die.
I just don't think that you can afford to keep graffiti up forever. As long as you can do your bit to influence another generation and school them and, you know, try and make them think.
But like I said, it's just dedication. That's what keeps most writers going, you know. You don't care about what people say.
It's more than rebellion. It's proving something to yourself. It's like being against it, you know, against the odds.
The aim is not to get caught, really. I reckon a person that hasn't been caught yet is better. Smarter.
But you can't just stop. Like, to me, you have to keep on going. Like, you know, that's when you know you're dedicated.
To be dedicated means to be criminal if you're into the original forms of it, and no one really, you know, these days no one wants to go to jail for painting something because it's such, you know, on a whole, it's such a load of bullshit. Just for painting something, you're going to be put in the same prison as someone who's raped someone, or someone who's murdered someone, or someone who's, you know, beat someone with a baseball bat or something, which is just a joke.
2 years jail, man, for graffiti. Like, that's a high price to pay for graffiti, you know.
Well, jail's not like a rehabilitation camp. You turn out worse. And they learn a lot of, you know, heavy shit in jail, so it sort of doesn't really do anything except sort of make them more hardcore in the sense of a criminal. JC, he got $20,000 fine.
I'm never going to go to jail for painting with spray cans on something, because it's so trivial. If it comes down to the point where I can't do it on a train, then I'm not going to do it on a train. I don't care for going to jail in my lifetime.
I think newspapers and the media in general intimidate the community.
The media don't know what they're on about at all.
They're the ones who like paint the picture of everyone carrying an iron bar and a 30mm texter, you know. They don't realise that half of the kids who do graph are totally harmless anyway, you know.
But it's mainly the government that have blown everything up, you know. It's really not the writers going out saying, yeah, let's, you know, write slogans or anything like that, because all we're doing is writing our name. They're the ones making the big fuss about just, you know, trying to catch us, which is a joke, you know. The thing is, they make it politically involved. You don't, because all you're doing is painting, but all they're doing is talking about it, you know. So it's them who have sort of made it politically involved and more sort of themes, and they've tried to, you know, say certain things about it. Because their idea of what it's about is kids going out vandalising because they've got nothing better to do, where it's, you know, it is true there are a lot of kids that do it for that reason, but it's only because they're lost and they'll fall back into their normal world, you know, one day. Because I've seen it happen to thousands and thousands of riders, you know. Now no one's really intrigued by it. Anyone that gets into it, you know, they just get into it and just live the lifestyles of, you know, crime, or, you know, not really taking the essence of the art form, but just taking a few of its small, you know, factors, which is, you know, like stealing, and which is why I think, you know, that sort of escalated as, you know, writers being criminals, stealing, you know, from shops, like as a profession, because they were already criminals before they were writers. So then, you know, a lot of people were influenced by that era. But on the majority, like, criminal writers come and go, and they don't stay. They never stay. They just come over for a short visit. It's the same thing that Melbourne and Sydney and Adelaide and every city in the world have to deal with, is getting rid of the criminal aspects, which to the mass is getting rid of the art form as a whole.
That's just graph for you. It's graph for you.
We do it for ourselves, We do it for ourselves.
They're rebelling more or less, aren't they? Leaving your mark. Leaving your mark.
I wouldn't know what they can do to stop it.
Say to yourself, I'm going to be a rider, straight away you sign a contract to do crime.
Parents don't know what their children are doing at night.
Garbage everywhere.
Make them clean it up.
It brings art to the streets and it beautifies the area.
Some of them are very artistic.
Graffiti's from the heart. Graffiti's from the heart.
We do it.
From the heart.
I'd love to catch them.
They think it's just a little kid's game, go and write your name and then you get in trouble and then you quit.
Pure art adventure. 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 A writer can say what he wants, but if he gives up, he's nothing, you know? His name is never ever thought of again in the whole culture. Instant removal, you know? As soon as someone says that they've given up. That's how it goes. I mean, and how it works and how it originally worked is who lasts longest wins. You know, I'll never be limited. If walls were smashed down or, you know, you weren't allowed to paint a wall anywhere, it was banned, then I'd paint canvas. If I wasn't allowed to paint canvas, I'd paint cardboard. You know, there's no reason to stop because it's just an art form. I mean, there's no reason to stop an art form. Not enough people had visions of what they could do. So, you know, and I think that's what keeps you going, is your vision of your work, the vision of what, you know, how big and intense and that you could be over, you know, the next 20 years or something. Because a lot of people just see it as being something that's come from New York. And the way a lot of people paint is the way people in New York painted. And that they're the sort of people that will die out after a couple of years because they can only get to the limit of the New York people, which, you know, which was peaking in 1980 and 82, as in style, you know. When you think about the style of New York compared to today, the actual lettering style and that hasn't gotten much more complex there. Everyone believes, too many people believe that you know, if you don't know where it's going, then it's not going anywhere, which is the wrong idea to have. If you don't know where it's going, it's good. You just, it means that you're on, you know, you're on an unwalked path, and you can sort of, it's just an adventure. It's a sort of pure art adventure.
Well, practice makes perfect, and that is the key. See you later, I see you in. I kick ballistic. When it's ready, conflict, who's being sipped? When it's ready, conflict, yeah, fully getting ripped. When it's ready, conflict, I give you a trip. Never slip, you're gonna get licked. When it's ready, conflict, we're fully equipped. When it's ready, conflict, we're all going sick. When it's ready, conflict, I give you a trip. Never slip. Spray conflict, how not to get tricked with the antics, politics, gimmicks a lot. Know the limit to get shot, to constantly rock, to mock like a mockingbird, unheard silence. Violence reigns, more pain than gain. Don't stop in the same spot, step to the train stop. Check out the burner, it's a night turner. Full admiration by the little boy learner. I'm here to paint, I ain't going straight. No time to wait for a strange with the fate. Leather colour spray, yeah that's the way. Getting high off ducks and night and day. Spray conflict with all the variations, a lyrical beatdown. on any occasion, no matter when, why or how. Now like this one, try to endow with the Oz and it's rockin'. Unreal fine, been around 20 years, rise up, no decline. With the graph breaking, all those who have taken the time to bust a roll with no fake ass making of the culture. It's all about life, ha 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 ha. Born without a wife, many people wonder about the biz. And for those who know me, know what it is. That's a dialogue of what we are doing, an example of what is pursuing. And it started with the straight up society. Peace out to proof for all his notoriety. About this or that, slam dunking. We're intense quality and the mum is funkin'. On and on, the contrast. Hardcore, death wish cast. New South, come spend the day on the other side of town, DSA. Hardcore, the list goes on to the one, you son of a gun. Hip hop is shunned, on its way to reach the ton. And the message, well, it needs to be clear. Hip hop's upon us, well, it's here. And no matter if you care, no matter who you are, a land our style won't fail ya. And respect given quite a lot, well, enough to all the rhyming busting out doing their stuff. Well, practice makes perfect, and that is the key. See you later, I see you in. I kick ballistic. When it's right conflict, who's being sipped? When it's right conflict, yeah, fully getting ripped. When it's right conflict, I kill the road and dread. Never slip, you're gonna get licked. When it's right conflict, we're fully equipped. When it's right conflict, we're all going sick. When it's right conflict, I kill the road and dread. Never slip.
Spray conflict, how not to get tricked with the antics, politics, gimmicks a lot. Know the limit to get shocked, to constantly rock, to mock like a mockingbird, unheard silence. Violence reigns, more pain than gain. Don't stop in the same spot, step to the train stop. Check out the burner, it's an eye turner. Full admiration by the little boy learner. I'm here to paint, I ain't going straight. No time to wait for a strange with the fate. Leather colour spray, yeah that's the way. Getting high off ducks and night and day. I'm a plastic go juggy when the beats are funky. Budget enamel when it's smooth, not lumpy. Jumpy punks get beat down on the line. Come down, join the Melbourne Alliance. Science in art can never be worked out. Like a computer, a trained commuter. The disputer will cough a 12 shooter up the nose as he flows. Remember, tells you how it goes. Pros and cons will get stepped on, left on. Only protection they got is a condom. You don't want to get sticked or dicked a trick. Or spray conflict.
I'm taking no trips.
Women spray conflict. Spray paint drips.
Women spray conflict.
You'll be taking hits.
Women spray conflict. I give the word a drip. Never slip.
When I spray conflict, brothers are on it. Time for stomping, but you don't want it. When I go on, I flow on, I get busy. I throw the mic around like it was a frisbee. Hey, you crew cut, what is it that makes you do what you do? You front like a fruit butt. Gang you ran with, the suckers you hang with. Now I'ma do damage, cause you don't understand. It's like this, a sandwich needs fresh ingredients. How can you manage when it's bland and meaningless? You don't wanna eat it, I didn't buy it. There you go, run around asking people to try it. See what happens next when it goes over their head, huh? Yeah, I get vexed to make a ting taste better. Go for the pepper I want on the sandwich. I sweat the half steppers that don't speak my language. Call me the dreaded hood, call me the hooded dread. I mean you get it good, more you good and dead. Hyper than hype in the night, damn, I rip shit up. So what up?
Give it up, give it up.
Rip it I will, no bullshit with the deal. Possessed with the skills to come off like a peel. I do work like a fat cat, back like a backpack. Feast the mama funk, it's the cone.
The young decay. When we spray conflict, it's hard to get paid. When we spray conflict,
is a right.
When we spray conflict, conflict spray.
Word, conflict spray. Suck it big and play. Slay and spray.